Hello, welcome to another episode of New to Weeaboo. This is number 3, the April episode. I'm Nemesis, and I'm joined by Alcatraz.
Hey.
Yeah, we got a new thing to talk about, actually new for once.
Actually new, it's not going to an old one.
Not a couple months old or a year old or whatever, we actually got a new one. Couple things, I guess one thing is playing more of the Love Live game, of course.
Oh,
I think they had one of the better April Fool's jokes, too. They did, actually, because there's one thing, is a thing you could actually keep. They gave you new cards to keep. Well, not gave.
Introduced?
It was like a thing, whereas a new thing you could use the coins in the game to buy them. It's 1,000 coins per draw. You got 20 draws total, but they happened to give you 20,000 coins as a login bonus that day.
Oh,
just enough to buy those card packs. Yeah, I think it's new. It was all the characters of Love Live, but as kids. In animal pajamas. It was the animal pack. You also got random animals as the, I guess, booster cards as well. So that was kind of one of the better April Fool's jokes, I think, just because it's something you get to keep.
Yeah.
And they're not just cards, you actually get the full side stories with them too and everything.
Yeah, it's nice when they do cool April Fool's jokes, not like, deleting something that makes people with visual impairments
fun times.
Hard, yeah.
But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about, even though it's kind of anime related. It actually is very much.
That one is.
But we're actually here to talk about a new anime that just wrapped up. It's called The Promised Neverland. And before we get in depth, I want to say right now, because it's kind of a thing. It's like, it's new and everything. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it. Okay, we're going to say right now, it's real good.
Yes.
But beyond that, we're going to say nothing. We want you to actually stop right now, watch it, and with as little context or information as possible, and go watch it, and then come back and listen to us talk about it.
Yes.
Okay?
Go in blind as you can. It will definitely, yeah. Just do it.
Yeah, just do that. So, ostensibly... Now, spoilers now for the rest of the podcast.
At this point, we expect you to have seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it, or if you're just not going to watch it, okay, I guess. But whatever.
I can't.
Ostensibly, it's about an orphanage, and a particular group of 3 kids in this orphanage.
Yes.
That's what it's about.
That's what it's about.
Nothing else.
Right. And nothing bad happened.
Nothing bad happened in the end. No, wait, actually, this one gets dark pretty quick, actually.
Yeah, a lot quicker than I was.
Honestly, I was expecting off the title to be like a whimsical adventure.
Yeah, The Promised Neverland.
Yeah, that sounds.
Yeah, when I was first hearing, just the small little things popping up here and there, I was expecting it to be a bunch of kids going off to find some cool place or whatnot. A Promised Neverland. Hey, that is not what I got.
No.
Yeah.
So the 3 kids, particular that it focuses on are Emma, Norman, and Ray.
Yep.
They're the 3 kids in particular. They're the 3 kids in an orphanage.
3 oldest, I think.
The 3 of the oldest, yeah. Among the 3 oldest. They're
all 11. Yeah, they're all 11 at the start.
They're in an orphanage, and they're kind of happy, living a kind of fairly happy, carefree life. And whatnot. One of the first hints that something's up is they all have a number on tattooed on their neck or something.
Yep, but they never actually talk about it.
It's never talked about. It's just a thing, but you see it very clearly. You're like, And also, one of the things is also when it opens up, you got them talking about how outside is dangerous or whatever at the gate when they're really young. There's a scene when they're really young or something. So like, something's wrong
here. The world is not as it seems.
Yeah. So then one of the other kids gets adopted apparently, and they're like, okay.
Yay, cool. Congratulations. Right to us.
Then, wait, she forgot her little stuffed rabbit. I think it was a rabbit.
Yeah, it was
she forgot.
What was her name?
I can't remember. It's not that the name in itself is not necessarily important.
Yeah.
But. So Emma goes to give Emma Norman go give her back her rabbit, and they follow her, even though it's kind of against the rule to go get out the gate, and they're looking around, it's like, and then
there's a truck there.
There's a truck, and they look in the truck, and
there she is,
dead.
Yep.
Very dead.
Very.
Yeah, they have to hide, and there's monsters actual literal monsters.
Literal
there.
like demons, as they call them.
Yeah, and then the mother of the orphanage, so called, whose name is Isabella.
Yep.
She's there, and turns out, she's working with them and everything. And oh boy, so kind of they have to go back and pretend everything's fine.
Everything is fine.
Yeah, and then from there it's just kind of, we don't want that to happen to us. We got to get out of here, and that's pretty much the anime in a nutshell.
Yeah, the whole thing is, how do they escape?
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. Is it turns out also those demons, what they're doing is they're eating the kids, particularly the brains.
Yep.
And everything, and that's
they're
basically livestock on a farm.
Essentially, yes. And actually, I think that's what they call them.
Yeah.
Eventually, you find they call them farms, and there's multiple.
Mm-hmm. They're just one of like 6 or something like that.
Yep. I think it's 5. I think it's a hexagonal shape, and one of them's processing it. One of them's like the office or processing thing that connects to the outside world, and the rest of them are all insulated. So 5 farms.
That's the thing. Also, there's kids. They're all ranging from babies to 11-year-olds in this case.
11-year-olds. No one older than 11.
Yeah, and any kid from 6 to 11 can be harvested at any point in time.
Shipped out.
Yeah. The thing is, they also have these tests regularly, and the thing is, the smartest kids get to keep continuing on until they're hit 12.
Right. Yes.
But the kids who tend to get low scores tend to be shipped out early.
Yep.
That's what happened to that one kid early on. She has one of the lowest scores.
She was low scoring, so she got shipped out early.
Mm-hmm.
Because apparently, brains are tastier when they're smart. So if there's potential for them to be smart, you keep them around, because also the 12-year-old brain is like the best age.
Yep.
So your best is a super smart 12-year-old. So anyone that has potential to reach that is kept there until they reach a ripe age. For.
Yep. It's pretty.
It gets dark.
Real fast. Episode 1.
That's one thing. As we were saying earlier, when we first started watching, we could tell, like, okay,
something's up.
The world is not good. It's not a happy world, as much as the introduction wants to show they're all living a happy life, and we know something's up, and we're gonna find out. But I was not expecting to find out that quickly.
Yeah, especially like episode 3.
Yeah, usually you see those things around episode 2 or 3. Yeah,
usually, I mean, there's a lot of anime. Usually, first 2 episodes are kind of establishing. This third episode's that's when the premise really hits, or whatever, or the premise, the twist, whatever it is. The main draw is when it usually episode 3.
Yep, but no, this one did not wait that long.
Yeah.
First episode, right there. And it was like, holy crap, I was not expecting that.
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting something, just not that. And then it just kept getting deeper as we started seeing more and more about the world.
The thing is, we still don't know everything about the world. This whole demon thing is like, what are they? Where they come from? And it looks like there is some sort of deal in place, because it sounds like there's other places where humans just live happily normally.
Potentially.
That's what it kind of sounds like anyway.
Yeah.
So what's going on there?
We don't know what's going on really outside the farm.
There's a lot that is just unknown to us.
Yeah.
And then also the demons also come in all sorts of weird shapes and sizes. And
yep.
Their
eye placement's really weird.
Yeah. Vertical. At least in some of them.
Yeah.
The other thing is, the main characters, Em and Norman Rain, they're different personalities. Em is very, I guess,
she's
cheery.
the athlete.
Yeah, she's athletic. She's cheery. She's outgoing.
Yep.
She also cares about everyone at the orphanage here. And then you got Norman and Ray, who are a little more, I guess, subdued. Ray more so, particular.
Norman is scary smart.
Well, Ray's also very smart.
Well, they're all 3 of them.
But
are
particularly
highly
Norman and Ray
intelligent.
are also in particular very smart. Emma's smart too, but
Norman is the strategist.
Yeah, but the thing is, Ray is also intelligent.
Ray is also highly intelligent, but he's more the background observant one.
Personality-wise, Norman's more of a warmer personality overall, versus Ray, who's very distant and cold for the most part.
Very distant, very cold, very
pragmatic.
Yeah.
Particularly when they're formulating their plan. He's the one who insists we can't save them all.
Yep. A little bit more focused on himself and more like, I don't know what the word is there. I don't want to say realist, but a little bit more pessimistic, I guess.
Yeah, pessimistic, possibly defeatist.
Defeatist, which once we find out more about Ray.
Yeah, how more. Because the whole thing is like they're trying to get out of this without raising suspicion.
Yeah, because they're worried if if it's known to everyone else that they know what's going on, they'll just get grabbed and shipped out immediately.
Problem is, when they went to take the bunny, they left it behind, which meant Isabella knows someone saw. She didn't know who, but someone saw.
Thing is, though, Isabella is also crazy smart.
Considering she was one, it turns out as we fight her later on, yeah, was one of the kids at one point
who almost escaped.
She almost escaped, and she lived long enough to be one of because that's the thing is like these mothers, as they actually call them, their official titles are mothers, whatever.
Moms, yeah.
These are kids. These are ones who were particularly 12-year-old girls who particularly stood out.
Yep.
They're the ones
they get recommended by the existing mother to become a mother themselves, and then get sent for training and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. So she's of course also scary smart.
Yep. So yeah, she figured it out pretty quickly, but specifics make it hard for her to actually act on those.
Mm-hmm.
That, and she kind of wanted them to find out in a way, because that's how you get more mothers. They kind of have to know what's going on.
Mm-hmm. It's weird.
Yeah. I'm just to actually do that.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Just a kind of what has to go through your head to just accept that.
You'd have to you have to get to the point where you just realize there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
You can try to fight as much as you want, but nothing will happen. Or they expect that to be the case.
Yeah. I guess a part of the training would be to just break you. I guess that would be the only thing. It's just
like,
mentally break you.
Army has to break you down and build you back up type thing.
Basically. A little bit different reasoning, but
yeah. But
pretty close.
The other thing was we also see that the big training to become a mother is not more intense than you think it would be.
And when they say mother, they don't mean it just figuratively.
Yeah, another thing. There's also the sisters, which they help the mothers, but they seem to go through the same sort of training. So it's just basically you're just not, because there's only be so many mothers. So
yeah, so if you pass the training, you can be an assistant for those that may need extra help.
And then there's apparently the grandmother.
Yes, which is
again, leader. There's a lot here. We're getting glimpses of what's going on, but not everything. And that's part of I want to know more now. Let me know more. I want to know more.
I want to know more. Yes.
The other thing, because it's weird. There's the initial fence really is supposed to go past, but then beyond that, there's a sheer wall.
It's just sheer wall.
Just what, 30 feet tall or something like that?
Yeah, it was a huge wall.
And yeah,
that's really thick too.
Yeah, I can't remember how it's good 2 or 3 feet thick.
Yeah,
which is actually probably longer. I'm thinking about it. Probably closer to 4 or 5. I'm thinking about it. No,
something like that.
Seeing them stand on top of that.
Yes, but they're also 11-year-olds.
Trying to figure,
they're not exactly
tall. Out. They're 11 or 12, so that'd be probably 3.5, 4 feet tall.
Yeah, somewhere around 4 feet, I want to say.
So if they're lying, so it's probably 5, actually closer to 5 feet tall. If you're looking at it, just thinking about what I saw, or not tall but long, wide.
Yeah, thick.
Yeah,
thick.
I mean, so thinking about one of the characters, because Isabella suspects him. She brings in a sister called Crone.
That was her name. Yeah. Crone. Yeah.
Yeah, it's spelled Krone.
Yep.
He comes in terms of she has her own little agenda.
Yep. She wants to take over and become mom.
She wants to become the mom.
Yep.
Yeah. And she's also so she's got her own thing going on. She's spying on the kids and trying to figure things out, and
she's trying to basically backstab Isabella.
Mm-hmm.
But Isabella finds out.
And of course she does.
Of course she does. It's like you knew from the beginning.
Also, Crone is weird.
She
has a doll she talks to a lot.
And apparently that's the doll she had when she was a kid.
Yep, same one. She also just has some eccentricities. She, does weird moves and dances and
I think that would be she's insane.
Yeah, she's clearly...
Although I think any person is insane who's supporting that would qualify for insanity.
Well, Isabella kind of seems a little put together, but for the most part.
Surface sanity maybe, but she's still supporting this, especially...
Then again, when you're in a kind of you can honestly say that people who are in that sort of situation, there's something that's they realize I can't do anything. I have to just go along with it, or else I'm dead. And
Yeah.
or there was the other thing, which is, well, I can at least make them as happy as possible before the inevitable.
Yeah.
Which seems like that's part of what Isabel wants to do. Is she's trying to keep them from to a degree, keep them happy.
To a degree, yes, there is that.
I think we see that because at first you're at the point you think she actually doesn't give a crap about them, and you see later she does genuinely care about these kids, but at the same time she is working for a horrible, I guess,
monster.
Monster is an industry of sorts.
Yeah.
And there's a thing is like, you have these three kids have to, pretend they know nothing while also trying to find out more information, try to find a way out. And they even find out there's tracking devices.
Yes, they figure out that they're being tracked.
Because they figure out Mom always seems to know where we are.
Always seems to be able to find us.
And they're realizing that little thing that looks like a pocket watch.
Like a pocket watch or a compass or whatnot. Yep. Tracking device. And then they figure out it's in the ear.
Yeah, because the baby shows up and has a little thing in the back of her ear. It's like, oh. Interesting.
Yeah. Emma does not take things very well.
Yeah, she's someone. So the thing is Emma is also someone who tends to trying to save everyone.
Yep.
She
Emma
cares about everyone.
Which is why she gets recommended to be a mother.
Yeah. Even though, well, at that point, things had already happened.
Yeah. It's really good. I will say the whole season it's really good. I can't really think of any major flaws.
Well, I remember you complained earlier, but their eyes and mouth are too
close.
Oh yeah,
together. Like the first, it's just an art direction. It was like on the kids, the infants, the mouths seemed really rather high. So that was a little bit odd, but that went away pretty quickly, I think. That wasn't really an issue.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, I can't think of any flaws or any downsides.
Yeah. One of the things that was interesting about this was there was a lot of stuff going on that the audience, are kept in the dark about until here's the big reveal.
Yep.
About, like, apparently, particularly their planning and stuff. Like, there's a lot of stuff, like multiple plans, like running into each other. And oh wait, you thought my plan failed, but no, that was designed to fail so we could actually do this type thing.
Yep.
Xanatos gambits everywhere.
Yeah.
To use a TV tropes term.
It was nuts, the kind of stuff that went into all of this. Seeing it all get revealed. Yeah. And watching it get revealed. It was just...
A lot of it's like, it looks like, that's it. It's over. No.
No, it's not. You think about it.
And lots of
after
misdirections,
it is revealed, you think about it, you did actually see those things.
Yeah.
But you didn't realize it was very well done.
There's a lot of misdirection, too.
Oh, yes. A lot of misdirection.
I've noticed, apparently this is the thing in a lot of animes, they just have the thing of really smart characters just showing how smart they are to the audience at the end. It's like, aha. See, I did the thing. Yeah, them formulating the plans and stuff, and also having to deal with Crone, who's doing her own thing, who they can't fully trust, but they have to they kind of try to ally with her a little bit, but they know they can't really trust her because Crone's whole thing is like, I won't say anything because I want to see her fail.
Yep.
If you escape, that's a failure.
And then Isabel will fall if you escape. Mm-hmm. And then I can take over.
Yep, that was her idea. So she's like, "Oh, I won't say a thing." But also she's showing that she also knows more because, like, they're talking, it's like, so about the tracking devices the whole time.
Yep.
You just pretended to be ignorant.
Yeah.
Because, like, you didn't touch it, like, do what those kids do, which is reach up to the ear.
Yep. And then that one scene afterwards. That one scene where she's freaking out. Why did they ask if they already knew? Why did they ask if they already knew?
Yeah.
And then it's not revealed until the very end.
Yep.
That's why they asked.
The other thing is how the kids are killed. They're stabbed through the heart with a flower, which then it's a white flower that blooms and turns red.
Yes,
that's probably mostly visual, but I'm wondering if that's something important too.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just visual, symbolic, or if there's actually something literal to it. Because they talk about the brains, but they also mention human flesh.
Yeah.
But then the whole flower thing, and it looks like it sucks the life out of them.
Yeah, I have no idea.
That's what it looks like. Stab them in the chest, and all of a sudden their bodies get sucked dry, and then the flower blooms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. And then the big question with the demons: who is he?
Mm-hmm. They keep saying that. I figured I had a he capitalized.
Yeah, him.
Also, there's something about the Tifari. There's something there about that. It's like some of the demons or whatever. That's important too, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot of unanswered questions, which we might get answers to because they confirmed season 2 coming next year.
Yeah, and I'm definitely looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I'm looking at, because of how season 1 ended, it have to be totally different kind of anime.
Yeah. There's so many open ends.
Well, the anime itself would be a very different genre, I think, just because of the nature of things.
Oh yeah, since the entire setting has been of this one has been disrupted. Mm. You can't use the setting in the same way anymore. Yeah. You have to tell a different story because the world has changed now. Unless you were to rehash the same thing with one of the different farms.
Yeah, but getting which would kind of be lame.
Which would be kind of weird.
Yeah. Getting back to the 3 main characters, though, what's also interesting is that Emma and Ray are very like diametrically opposed to each other, like in a lot of things. Like,
yep.
Like they're just opposite ends of an argument. Norman's often winds up being the
mediator.
Yeah, the mediator, and also kind of the one who tries to see. Okay, I see that both your points, and trying to often kind of compromise them or whatever.
Try to make them like you're both have good points here. You're both right in your own aspects. How do we get them?
I've
both
also seen
work?
that sometimes Norman's the one who seems to have to say, "Hey, yeah, listen, this is you need to think about
Reel
this.
it in.
Completely think this over because you're not thinking of the whole thing because you're kind of stuck in your mindset."
Norman, holy crap! Norman is that's a really good character, and holy crap, is he smart? Mm-hmm. He sees the big picture all the time, and man. I just his ending, Norman's story at the very end. I just cannot imagine going through all of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because it is that final scene before he gets shipped out.
Because the other thing is he gets caught and stuff, and
well, they all kind of get caught.
Yeah, they all get caught, but Norman in particular has to be shipped out like now.
Yeah, Norman gets his shipment date. And they plan to have him escape, and he starts to.
Yeah,
and that's when they find the final discovery that changes things.
Yeah, and then it looks like he gives up and everything. Like, yeah, and he gets shipped out, and they have to pretend everything's fine. No one knows the truth,
except they know the truth, and walking to the gate, and knowing what's about to happen.
That's the one point. It's like,
ugh, and not being able to stop it.
What's interesting though is. There's potential that Norman didn't die.
Maybe, yeah.
There's potential.
Because again, that's more of the stuff that they don't show.
And possible misdirection. And
yeah.
You see, they open a side door, and he looks surprised, and that's the last we see of him.
Yeah, the thing is,
him.
In the first episode, when Emma and Norman go down, Corin? Or you try to remember the girl's name that dies in the very beginning.
Yeah.
They come out of the side room.
Mm-hmm.
They come out of one of those side rooms. So something goes on in those side rooms, but we don't know what.
It's kind of weird how Norman's facial expression tells me something surprised him, which is unusual.
Yeah.
You see, he knows what to expect, so it's like for him to be caught by off guard would mean something's...
He knows somewhat to expect, that he's supposed to die, but none of them know the details of how it works.
Well, they saw her body with the frozen, so it's like they know that part. So
they know that part, but they don't know.
They've seen the demons as well.
Yeah, but they don't know like how it gets to that point, or if they don't know any of the other parts.
Yeah, it's still there's something there that's like makes me wonder if Norman's going to come back in the second season. Turns out he's going to be alive or something.
Yeah, but it is interesting that that last scene with Norman when he runs off. You realize that he was actually planning to do an escape there.
Mm-hmm. Until
he jumped the wall, and that's when they found out it's not just a wall. There's the fence that leads to the wall that leads to a sheer cliff.
Mm-hmm.
So he had to navigate, grab all the information, make a plan, come back.
Mm-hmm.
He had to come back because at that point when he got to the top of the wall, he realized the plans that they had made up to that point would not work.
Yeah.
So he had to formulate an entirely new plan, do recon, come back, sacrifice himself just so everyone else would have the new information and time to do all the training for everyone else.
They have a couple months until Ray turns 12. That's their next cutoff.
Do we want to start talking about Ray?
A little bit.
Because there's some big info on Ray.
Big things. Before we get to that, though, one thing I want to say was Crone also died because of her.
Yep, Crone got found out.
Because, Isabella's like, you honestly thought you were going to do...
You thought you were going to stab me in the back? I knew from the beginning.
The grandmother came along and was like, you're not good enough.
Well, the grandmother came along because Crone's whole idea was, I'm going to reveal that you let the kids know that they're trying to escape and you made a mistake here. And then she tries to reveal it to Grandma. Grandma goes, we know. We already know that the kids know.
Yep.
That's part of the plan. And Crone's just like, crap.
And they kill her. And they kill her.
Yep. So yeah, this layer upon layer upon layer of plans.
Planning and whatnot. One of the things about Ray was, turns out he has been working for Isabella pretty much forever.
Yeah.
Or since he was 6, at least.
Yeah.
He's been working, telling her all sorts of stuff.
Yep, basically acting as her spy.
Because they figure out, like, somehow she's knowing things she can't possibly know unless someone told her.
Yes, so they do, Norman sets up that trap.
Multi-layer
they also
trap,
end up telling...
Because there's two other kids as well.
2 other kids that they end up telling, but they tell them something slightly different.
Mm-hmm.
Because they realize there's a traitor. And then Norman sets up the trap. But it's actually not a trap for the 2 kids. It's a trap for Ray.
Yep, Ray.
And Ray trips it.
You fool.
But then Ray reveals that he's basically a double agent.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm working with Isabella, but I'm doing it not to help Isabella. I'm doing it to help me.
Yep.
So then they use him basically as a double agent to feed misinformation.
Mm. Thing is, of course, Isabella catches on about a lot of it too.
Ray's plans get tossed asunder.
Mm. Yeah, and also Ray was the biggest proponent of just the 3 of us got to leave, everyone else. But Emma's like, no, we got to take everyone with us.
Yeah.
Logistical nightmare of that.
Yep, and Ray's reasonable idea, you can't do that. They're too small. They're going to hold us back, and we're all going to get caught. We're not going to make the ultimate escape at all because they're going to hold us up, which isn't an unreasonable expectation.
Mm. The other things that were interesting. There's that bit. First the 3 of them were caught at one point, and Isabella. And
oh, geez, that scene.
Isabella just straight up breaks Emma's leg.
Yeah, that. Holy crap, that was just heart-wrenching. Just straight up breaks your leg right there.
I can't escape now.
Nope. Now you have to stay.
Yeah, it was like, geez.
Yep.
And she's, stuck.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's also a weird thing is for Emma in particular. Is like she has to deal with this. Her in particular, because Emma's so loving, I guess, that dealing with this her mother figure is, working for these monsters and whatnot.
Yep.
Having to process all that, and her
and trying to come to terms with is she right?
Mm.
Is it better to give them the best life they can in 12 years?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Emma. Yeah, Emma was asked if she, Isabella said that she was wanting to recommend Emma for being a mother, and Emma just no. One thing, she's got her convictions and sticking by them.
Yep, Emma definitely has her principles.
Yeah, and she just...
Oh, we're going to save everyone.
Yeah, even though she had to compromise that eventually.
She did have to compromise on that.
She did have to realize she had to compromise on it. But yeah, the other thing was... we get the whole thing. It turns out, after that, the leg breaking into Norman, it's like telling Norman to escape and him going, no, I'm not going to escape and everything. And it's like, well, that's it. And then it turns out they've been planning for a while after he, died. After Norman supposedly died or whatever.
Yeah, well, after Norman did his escape and came back.
It turns out it looked like Emma was in a funk, but turns out no, they're still planning and everything.
They've been planning. Yep.
And that was all covered, and they're training the other kids. Eventually, just, we got to tell everyone. Or is everyone, almost everyone.
Yeah, well, because apparently Norman and Emma had actually planned to tell all of the kids well earlier about what was going on. But they came to the conclusion that the 4-year-olds and under would not be able to understand this. They're not developmentally far enough to be able to fully comprehend what's going on. There's no way that they would come with us, because mom's mom.
They'll just say something.
Yeah, or someone. Yeah. So they decided 5 and up they would tell, and that's when we learn
all these games these kids have been playing and stuff. We see them occasionally. It turns out those are all training to get ready to leave.
Yep, all of the playing hide and seek and tag is how to run, hide and escape,
launching bottles
or playing with zip lines.
All this stuff. And Emma just sitting there looking forlorn by the tree was just her getting information from them, seeing
Yep, as they come over to check on her, and why are you so sad? And they're actually getting information.
And Ray seemingly moping in the library.
Yep. Until it turns out Ray had his own set of plans and wasn't really informed.
Ray never intended to leave.
Yep. Ray had his own set of plans, and Norman and Emma didn't include him on those because Norman found out that Ray had his own plans and just incorporated Ray's plans into theirs.
Yeah. Because Ray decided his whole thing was, I'm going to kill myself in the process to let you guys escape. I'm going to die.
I'm going to cause this huge thing, and I'm going to die.
And light myself in this building on fire.
And because I'm, a 12-year-old at max scores, I'm highly valued. So if I die and the product is damaged, Isabel will be faulted.
Kind of a final middle finger.
Yep. Can we talk about Ray yet?
We are talking about Ray.
No, the other things about Ray.
A little bit. Just a little bit. Just wait. Just wait. We're not there yet. Yeah, because that was the thing. It made it look like the show made it look like Ray did succeed in his plan of killing himself.
Yep.
And stuff. Everything looked like, because we see Emma sitting there crying and everything, and hey, guess what? No.
Guess what? No.
Turns out it's just an ear. The ear with the tracking device in it.
Yep.
And then there's another ear with a tracking device in it. Oh, yeah. Emma and Ray both cut off their ear.
Yep. So that the tracking devices would still be... Because it turns out Ray had found a way to disable the tracking device without sending an alert. Basically a homemade stun gun.
Yeah.
But they needed Ray and Emma's tracking devices still active to be a distraction. So they just cut their ears off.
Jeez.
Man, Mike Tyson did.
Not quite.
Not quite. There was no biting. It was with a knife.
Still, it's just there's the misdirection and giving Ray a new set of clothes. You're coming with us, and Ray just kind of stunned, like,
what the hell is going on? I wasn't expecting to get
this far myself. I was expecting to be dead by now.
Yep, because Ray didn't know anything about
the
whole
thing is now kids. Because his fire set, Isabella can't chase after them because now there's the 4-year-olds and under.
It was multifold with the fire. The fire was meant as a distraction, but they also knew that Isabel doesn't really care about the house. They'll just rebuild the house. So there has to be a reason for her to stay, which is why Ray was going to stay in the building, because Ray's valuable merchandise. But then it also led to the splitting the kids up so that the 4-year-olds and under had to stay so that Isabel couldn't leave the 4-year-olds and under to go chase the olders.
They told one of the 4-year-olds.
Yes, Phil.
He's smart.
Phil's a smart one, so they told Phil.
They told him because he kind of figured out something's up.
Yep. Basically,
all the older kids and the adults aren't telling me something.
Yep, and seeing things that aren't quite right. So they tell Phil, and Phil's basically going to be the one to silently train and tell the younglings as they get older what's going on and get them
killing younglings.
I know.
Why'd you do that?
The younglings. Cover your mouth to hide your laugh.
Yeah.
The layer upon layer of stories.
And then in the final episode as well, just seeing how them kind of summarizing the misdirection and showing the plans going forward and all that stuff, and how all the stuff you've been seeing in the background is actually important.
Yes.
And all that stuff. That big reveal was really well done.
Yeah, it was.
and everything. And then we had the weird ghost Norman.
Ghost. That one was a bit weird.
And you were confused for a second. Wait, I thought...
It's like, what? I don't...
No.
No.
I'm like, no, he's not really there.
It's Ghost Norman.
Like, he's not really there. It's their imagination.
Yeah. They're just seeing their dead friend.
Maybe dead. Probably dead, but
maybe
not necessarily dead.
They believe he's dead.
Yeah. And they're doing the whole thing, and everyone going across, and everybody's escaping and everything, and then finally it's just... And then, hey, look, Isabella catches up.
Yep, because one of the kids gets really scared.
Yep.
And they have to help get her across, and then two of the other kids get kind of scared, but they snap out of it.
Yep.
And then Emma's the last one, and Isabella catches them. But that was a great scene, because Emma just looks her dead in the face. And basically I'm not going to say the words on the podcast, but yeah, screw you. And goes, and then they cut the lines.
Cut the lines so you can't follow.
Yep.
And it's weird. See that Isabel actually seems to be kind of
relieved
and almost proud of them for getting out.
Yeah.
They successfully got out further than she did, because it's revealed she got to the wall and went, "Oh crap!"
Yeah, and that's
just like Norman did.
Yeah, and then Grandma found her and said, "Come down. I'm going to recommend you."
Mm-hmm. And we see also Isabella had a friend she had back in the orphanage, the orphanarium. Because the other thing was they had to run along the wall to a certain point, because the initial plan was they were going to run along the wall and just try to get across this one bridge and hope they make it.
Yep, the original plan was them to go all the way to where the one bridge was, and it actually brings up one of my questions. One of their plans, the original plan, they had apparently stashed Molotovs in like the forest to grab so they could toss into the other farms to cause an even bigger fire to try and pull the guards away, because they figured the last area where they would have to get down and cross the bridge would have a whole bunch of demon guards. Mm-hmm. So they'd have to try and pull them away. But then the plans changed, and it's like, do they still have the Molotovs?
I don't know, maybe.
Because they never threw the Molotovs.
No.
When they were running.
The plan changed to we're going to cross the cliff at this one specific spot, which is a little shorter.
It's shorter, so it's possible to run a zip line.
So they can throw the zip line, the lines across, and get someone across there who can tie
better zip lines.
Tie them down, and woo, there we go.
And then the pressure bottle water rocket things to get even more lines.
Yeah, that was quite the Great Escape.
The Great Escape.
Yeah. That was the thing, was like we see that at the end Isabel looks almost happy and relieved that they got, and she actually's like, well, more or less like hopes they succeed.
Yeah, we
see that that's the thing, that's the point where we actually see she genuinely cares.
Yeah, maybe she still does have a shred of humanity left.
I think, well, that's the thing, again, that's what argues her thing is she's trying to make them as happy as possible before they have to go, because she's like, well, they're doomed no matter what, so I might as well just make their lives as good as possible.
And then they escape, so I guess that's even better than she expected.
And kind of probably we still see that's where it triggers her memories of like herself trying to escape and all that stuff.
Yep.
Because she figured out the truth.
Yeah, she put her hair down after that.
Mm-hmm.
Say, isn't that certain symbolism when they do that?
And sometimes. It's just, I guess for her, it's just kind of showing back her, or maybe possibly going back to kind of innocence.
Sort of.
More innocent time for her in her life.
Oh, there was one thing right there after the end when she comes back to the kids.
Yeah, the young kids, yeah.
The young kids, and Phil looks at Phil and says, they escaped successfully.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if she knows that Phil knows.
Phil's always
I wouldn't put it past
Phil was
Isabel.
Phil was the one who seemed to it's kind of at the end there seemed to be doing something particular.
Yeah.
If you notice his behavior, it's like, she was like, oh, he was in on it.
Yeah, and then when she said that they escaped
because he would know Phil's smart.
Yeah, so I would definitely assume that Isabel
she absolutely
knows that Phil now knows what's going on.
Yeah. And then the other big reveal, which was Ray is Isabella's.
Yeah, okay, well, before you finish that last one,
I already did.
It was revealed a lot earlier that Ray is special.
Yeah.
He knows what's going on because he doesn't have infantile amnesia.
Yeah.
So he clearly remembers sounds from when he was an infant, and apparently even a fetus.
Yep. Yeah, that's really crazy.
That's the crazy one.
But he remembered a song, and he was humming it once, and
it turns out
it's the same song
Yep. Turns out that Isabel had a kid after she went through the whole mom training and became an actual mom, and would hum the song that her not boyfriend during the farm
Yeah.
would sing and play on a guitar.
Yeah. She'd hum the song, and
then he started humming it, and
she went, "Oh crap, that's my kid."
Yeah, because then when she became the mom for the farm and found Ray, and Ray was humming it, like, how do you know that?
Yeah.
So
oh
yes,
my gosh.
Ray
That makes it
was
really, really awkward that Ray pretty much seems to hate her.
Yep.
Ooh.
It also makes it really awkward that she's just willing to. I just need his brain.
Yeah.
It's your son. Your actual biological child.
Compartmentalization.
Yeah.
You gotta. I mean, I have to imagine for us to be able to do a job like that, you'd have to be really good at that.
You would have to.
You see them as kids and everything, but when it comes down to, okay, now it's going to be harvested, you're going to have to stuff all of those loving feelings away.
That's like
and do your job.
When you're a farmer and you're raising pigs for meat, you don't name them.
Yeah. Because
don't get attached.
Yeah, otherwise it's like she's going to you have to compartmentalize. Otherwise it's like going to be really difficult to continue being their mother, because
then you die,
otherwise
because they'll just kill you if you're not effective.
Yeah, if you start questioning, arguing, well, you're no longer good at this, so you're out.
You're not useful.
And they might give someone who doesn't care anymore. They might say, well, so if they're clearly getting too attached, we need to get someone who won't care. So, yep, gotta really compartmentalize real hard.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just those big reveals, like, oh man, what?
Yeah.
Like a bunch of big reveals all in that one episode.
As everything finally came to a head and it showed all of the planning that went through.
And now it's like open-ended because, okay, they escaped. And their whole thing is, their plan is, we see that their plan is to come back and save their other kids.
Right, there's one other thing that we haven't mentioned yet.
Yeah.
The books.
Oh yeah, the books.
They have a series of books that looks like a code in them. On like the title page or whatnot, there's like a seal with an owl. It looks like Morse code around the outside that mentions things. Mm-hmm. So like there's someone on the outside, because it was like left by the book's previous owners.
Mm-hmm.
So supposedly there's someone on the outside sending messages in.
I suspect they have a place. They have a place in mind then.
A promise.
Yeah.
A land of promise.
Neverland, if you will.
Yes.
Yeah, and they also want to come back and save these other kids. So yeah, season 2, when it comes, is probably going to be focusing on that. And there's probably a good chance of a small time skip too.
Yeah, probably.
So it's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out, and then if they're gonna save kids from the other farms and whatnot.
I know Emma's gonna try.
Yeah, she wanted to, and you could tell she really kind of beat herself up over the fact she had to compromise a bit on her initial plan. Darn it, Ray was kind of right.
Ray was like we were saying with Norman having to go. You're both right. We should save them all. But Ray is right. We can't. We wouldn't be able to save anyone if we tried to save them all. We'd get caught.
There's also the nice little flashback scene, where we see when Norman was sick and Emma's getting in there, and it's like
always evading
the cannon string and everything. And that was the one thing Norman took with him in the suitcase. It's like, oh,
aww. Yeah, because it's kind of shown that Norman likes Emma.
Yeah, it's vaguely implied Norman has a kind of a little crush on Emma.
Yeah.
Oh man, Emma who looks a little bit like a young Amanda.
yeah, a bit.
Yeah, the other thing I wanted to mention is a lot of really good camera work, I guess, shots and sorts.
Cinematography.
Yeah, the cinematography. There's a lot of good stuff, like the tilt, like a lot of the tilting and the way they do some of this angles. It's just really good, like the camera facing the person, like focus on the person while the background's moving while they're walking through the hallways and stuff, or the camera just tilts up at an angle rather than just panning up, stuff like that. It's really good looking. I think it's visually really nice.
It is. There are a few interesting CG scenes, like walking down the halls that might do like a CG thing.
Yeah,
but it's not badly done. So.
Also, the other thing is the OP is amazing.
Oh yeah, it is.
The OP song is amazing. Check
it
that
is
out
really
if you
good.
Can. Which also, funny enough, the OP song mentions fire a lot.
I
wonder what that's referring to.
Huh.
So it's in of itself something worth looking at. I think you just appreciate the cinematography in this. hard. It's like cinematography feels weird to say just because it's animated.
It is an animated one.
So it's like cinematography usually feels like it refers to live action, but then again, in animation, you can control exactly where the camera is at all times, no matter what.
Yep.
Versus,
you also don't have to worry about, physics.
yeah, you don't have to worry about the camera reflecting off the doorknob or anything.
Or, I mean, just, your camera angles can be
Literally inside the tree or whatever.
literally inside a tree
Or from someone's literal perspective, not just camera there.
Yeah, you also don't, like, viewing angles. What's the term I'm looking for? It's how much you can fit in frame.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to follow
You can cheat a bit.
Yeah, you can cheat. You don't have to follow the laws of physics.
Mm-hmm. It also helps when you can have characters be really expressive because their faces don't have to obey.
They don't have to obey physics and anatomy.
Yeah, so it's really well done. There's even a few little funny moments here and there too. There's a few more. It's sometimes you need that little lighthearted moment every once in a while to kind of get you away from the darkness
for a
little
break.
bit. Just a little break from the darkness before we continue on.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of interesting stuff going on. Then there's some of the stuff, like there's a lot of questions that raised that are never really answered either.
Oh yeah.
Which I really hope to see. I'm hoping to see some of them answered in season 2.
Yeah, see more of the world.
That's like,
how did this world come to be?
Yeah. So there's a lot of things going on now. I really, again, I hope you guys watched it and liked it too.
Yes.
Because I thought it was really, really good.
I really enjoyed this one.
I can see why so many people are talking about it.
Yeah, I'm glad it was recommended to me.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, let's watch that, sure. Yeah, it's pretty much all the time we have.
Yep, we'll have to wrap it up.
More or less. If you enjoyed this, and I hope you did.
I hope you did. I did.
Yeah, you can listen to other episodes. You can go to newtoweeaboo.libsyn.com. It's spelled Libsyn. That also has links for all the other places, the YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify. You can search for New to Weeaboo on any of those services. Find us there. If you want to contact us, you can go to newtoweeaboo@gmail.com. Talk to us there. Comments, questions, criticisms, whatever. You can also follow us on Twitter @newtoweeaboo. That's the ways you can do things right now. You can also follow personal Twitters. I'm at Nemesis Prime 1. He's at Alcatraz _ at the end and 77T.
Yep.
So there's not much going on there really.
Yeah, I lurk a lot, but I don't post.
Yeah, we got some. Yeah, we've got figured out what we want to talk about. Down the line. Our next episode, actually, we're going to be looking at the spring 2019 stuff. We're going to take a small sampling of the spring 2019 anime and watch that and talk about that.
And see how many of them are actually worth watching.
Yeah, and most of them are just trash.
Yep, probably gonna get some trash.
Yeah, based on what we've selected randomly because it was random.
Yep.
We'll talk a little bit more about that in the next episode for May. Anyway, again, hope you guys enjoy it, and we shall see you next time. So, bye, guys.
See ya.